What if I told you the secret to navigating complex human relationships isn't hidden in, like, some high-level psychology textbook?
I'd probably say you were about to pitch me a self-help guru or something.
Right. But what if it's actually inside a robotic, painfully simple English as a second language audio tape?
I mean, it sounds completely absurd on its face. You expect a language tape to give you, rote memorization, not a profound framework for human connection.
Exactly. But welcome to today's deep dive, because today we are tearing apart a script designed to teach basic vocabulary, just to show you the hidden architecture of how human beings actually learn to trust each other.
It's honestly a fascinating source to look at.
It really is. And for you listening, think about it like this. When you look at the architectural blueprint for a house, there is this expectation of absolute literal utility. You look at it and you just see lines on a page. A square here means a room. A gap in the line means a door.
Right, it looks incredibly basic.
Almost overly simple.
Right.
But if you actually know how to read that blueprint, you aren't just seeing lines, you are seeing the entire flow of how human beings are going to interact inside that space.
You see where they're going to gather or where they're going to retreat for privacy.
Yeah, how the light hits the kitchen in the morning, all of that.
Yeah.
So today, we are bringing you a deep dive into a source text that is exactly like one of those blueprints. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, so on the surface, the material we are looking at today seems entirely utilitarian. For context, our source material is a script from an educational program called LearnCast English.
LearnCast English.
Right. It is a text designed to teach English language learners through a very straightforward conversation between two individuals. They're named Ollie and Sarah, and they are discussing their hobbies.
Which sounds so basic.
Oh, totally. If you just skim it, you see a vocabulary delivery system. It's designed for the listener to, well, as the text explicitly instructs, listen carefully, repeat after them, and try to understand every sentence.
But our mission today is to look past that surface layer. We are going to treat this text as a masterclass in social dynamics.
Because wrapped inside this simple English lesson is, I'd argue, a flawless demonstration of how we actually build social bonds from the ground up.
Absolutely. The conversation starts with a definition, which kind of serves as the foundation for everything that follows.
What's fascinating here is how the narrator of the LearnCast opens the lesson. Before Ollie and Sarah even speak a single word, the narrator defines the concept for the learner. They say, a hobby is something you like to do in your free time. Hobbies can be fun, relaxing, and helpful for learning new skills.
Helpful for learning new skills.
Yes, the text sets the stage right there by telling us that this interaction isn't just about passing time. When we talk about hobbies with a new person, we are engaging in a highly strategic sharing of personal identities.
We're signaling what brings us joy, right?
Exactly. How we soothe our nervous systems and, crucially, how we choose to grow.
So, to understand how these two people, Ollie and Sarah, actually connect, we shouldn't just look at a list of their interests.
No, that would be missing the point.
Right. We need to look at the psychology of predictability. We have to look at the geography and the rhythm of their leisure time, like where and when they practice these hobbies. Let's look at their routines, because they are vividly contrasted in the text.
They really are.
Take Ollie. He is highly scheduled and social. He tells Sarah that he plays football, but he doesn't play every day. He plays exactly 2 times a week.
And where does he play?
In the park near his house with his friends.
Right, so it's energetic, it's bound to a specific location, and it's inherently communal.
Which makes Sarah's routine feel almost startlingly intimate by comparison, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. She tells Ollie she likes reading books, specifically simple stories and short novels. But her rhythm is entirely different from his.
Because Ollie plays twice a week in public.
Yeah, whereas Sarah reads every single day.
Yeah.
And she reads specifically before she sleeps.
Before she sleeps, yeah.
So you have Ollie's highly energetic public activity happening on a schedule versus Sarah's quiet, solitary daily ritual happening in the most private space possible.
I love the detail about the local park, too, in this text.
Oh, it's such a great detail.
They both utilize the exact same physical space in their neighborhood, but for entirely different purposes. Ollie uses the park as a sports arena for football. But Sarah tells him, I like the park too, but I go there to read.
It's like the park acts as a multi-purpose canvas.
Exactly. It takes on the shape of whoever's using it. For him, it's a stadium. For her, it's a sanctuary. But this brings up a pushback I have, or maybe a question for you and for the listener to consider.
Okay, let's hear it.
When we look at this blueprint of connection, is a hobby defined more by the activity itself, like the simple act of reading a short novel, or is it defined by the rigid boundary we place around it?
That's a really good question.
Because for Sarah, it isn't just that she reads, it's that she reads every day before sleep. It's the temporal boundary that makes it a defining trait. You know, like it's blocked off time. Oh, and Ollie does this too, right?
He does. He has a routine of watching action and comedy movies specifically on weekends with his family.
Right, on the weekends.
So to answer your question, the boundary is absolutely the defining factor. The text heavily emphasizes consistency over intensity. Like, Ollie doesn't just like music. He explicitly states, I listen to music every day.
And Sarah reads every day.
Exactly. This ESL script inadvertently, but perfectly, models what sociologists call bidirectional signaling.
Bidirectional signaling.
Yeah. Sarah doesn't just say she likes books. She signals absolute consistency by saying every day before sleep, which gives Ollie a predictable behavioral map.
A predictable behavioral map, meaning she is basically giving him the instruction manual on how her days operate.
Precisely. The human brain craves predictability, especially when you're evaluating a stranger. When Sarah offers the specific time and setting of her reading habit, she is lowering the cognitive load for Ollie.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
She is essentially saying, this is the ship of my day, and I'm letting you see it. Routines are the things that anchor our lives. And offering up the rhythm of those routines is the first fundamental step in vulnerability.
Which perfectly transitions us into the mechanics of friction and common ground. Because once they establish their individual routines, the text moves away from that individual isolation.
And models an incredibly delicate dance of social negotiation.
Yes. Have you noticed the specific, Me Too rhythm of their dialogue?
Oh, it's everywhere in the text.
They are constantly searching for and landing on shared experiences. Like, Ollie says he likes comedy movies because they're fun to watch with his family on the weekend. Sarah instantly replies, I like comedy movies too, they make me happy.
And then Ollie replies, yes, me too.
It's like a heartbeat. Boom, boom, me too, me too.
It is a textbook example of phatic communication.
Wait, phatic, what is that?
Phatic communication. It's social interaction that serves to establish or maintain social relationships, rather than impart massive amounts of new information. They are mirroring each other.
Oh, I see.
Sarah mentions she likes calm music because it helps her relax. Ollie mirrors this by agreeing that music is very relaxing. He mentions he doesn't have just one favorite singer, but many. And Sarah immediately reflects this back.
He says, me too. I do not have just one favorite.
Exactly.
They even bond over a shared lack of skill, which feels like a very specific conversational tactic to me. Ollie asks if Sarah likes drawing or painting. Sarah says, no, I'm not good at drawing. And Ollie instantly replies, that is okay. I am not good at drawing either.
They are finding connection in their mutual limitations.
Right. And they do the exact same thing with the beach. Ollie says he likes going to the beach. Sarah says she likes it too because it is beautiful and relaxing. Ollie says he enjoys the sound of the sea, and Sarah drops another me too.
Bonding over mutual limitations, like the drawing thing, is a classic vulnerability loop. By admitting a minor flaw, a lack of artistic ability, Sarah takes a tiny social risk.
A very tiny one, yeah.
But by validating it and admitting the same flaw, Ollie closes the loop. He creates a microburst of trust. When we meet someone, we're unconsciously scanning the environment for these similarities. We want to assure ourselves that we are safe with this person.
That we view the world through a compatible lens.
Right.
I have to push back here, though. Are we reading way too much into this?
How do you mean?
Well, it's an ESL script. When Ollie says he doesn't cook, or when they discuss not being good at drawing, isn't that just the curriculum mechanically trying to teach the negative phrasing of I do not, rather than some profound philosophy of mutual respect and vulnerability loops?
I can see why you'd think that.
Like, we might be elevating a basic grammar exercise into a sociological thesis here.
That is the exact trap most people fall into when evaluating instructional texts, though. Assuming the utility erases the psychology. The curriculum absolutely needs to teach the negative phrasing, I do not.
Right, that's the literal goal.
But look at the conversational pivot that immediately follows. The moment that friction arises over cooking, it doesn't just end with a grammatical negative. Sarah says she likes cooking simple food, like rice and pasta. Ollie gives the hard negative, no, I do not cook.
Right.
If this were purely mechanical, the subject would change. Just move on to the next vocabulary word.
But here's where it gets really interesting. That gentle pivot is entirely unnecessary for teaching English vocabulary.
Exactly. It is entirely unnecessary for the grammar, which means it is a deliberate behavioral model included by the authors. If we connect this to the bigger picture, What we are seeing is a profound philosophy of mutual respect embedded right into the dialogue.
They aren't just exchanging facts.
No, they are actively choosing to validate each other's divergent experiences.
Right, like how Sarah handles video games. Ollie says he likes playing simple games on his phone. Sarah doesn't just agree, nor does she offer a hard negative.
She qualifies it.
Yeah, she says, I sometimes play games too, but not a lot.
It's a gentle divergence that keeps the conversational safety intact.
And the ultimate expression of that safety happens near the end of their conversation. Ollie asks Sarah if her friends share her hobbies. She replies, some of them do and some do not. And Ollie responds with a very powerful, simple statement. That is normal.
And Sarah agrees. Yes, everyone is different.
It's such a basic sentence, right? Everyone is different. But as a baseline for human interaction, it's monumental.
The text is deliberately modeling a healthy, non-judgmental social dynamic. It is teaching the listener, the language learner, that differences are not a threat to connection.
They are just a natural state of human affairs.
Right. Ollie likes his action movies on the weekend. Sarah likes her light exercise and walking. The underlying psychological lesson is that you need the common ground to establish safety, but you need the friction of divergent paths to establish genuine respect.
And that established safety is what allows them to move to the final and arguably most vulnerable stage of their interaction.
Yeah.
The aspirational self.
Yes, the future self.
We transition from who they are currently, based on their present habits, to who they want to be.
This is a massive shift in the architecture of the conversation. I mean, think about it. They've spent all this time mapping out their current, tangible routines. The football in the park, the reading before sleep, the simple pasta meals.
All very grounded in the present.
But then, the temporal focus shifts entirely to the future.
Right. Ollie asks Sarah, do you like learning new hobbies? And Sarah says, yes, I love learning new things. She reveals that she wants to learn photography.
Which actually makes perfect sense in the context of their earlier mirroring.
Oh, because of the travel photos?
Exactly. When they were bonding over the beach earlier, Ollie mentioned he likes taking photos when he travels. Sarah mentioned she likes taking photos too, but she's still learning.
So she has this seed of an interest that she wants to fully grow into a hobby. And Ollie matches her vulnerability too. He reveals that he wants to learn to play the guitar.
And Sarah supports him. She says, that is amazing. Music is a great hobby.
I mean, think about the mechanics of identity projection here. Why do we include things we don't actually do yet when someone asks us about our hobbies?
It's a really interesting phenomenon. Ollie doesn't play the guitar. Sarah isn't a photographer.
Yet discussing these unlearned skills forms the climax of their bonding. I always think of this as the hobby waiting room.
The hobby waiting room. I like that.
Yeah, we all have this mental space where we keep the skills we want to learn but haven't started yet. You know, the unbought guitar, the fancy camera we haven't learned how to use, the language app we downloaded but haven't opened in months.
Oh, definitely. We've all been there.
It is fascinating that we treat these unexecuted actions as core components of our personality when we talk to new people.
This raises an important question, though. We treat them as core components because sharing a future hobby is a form of vulnerable identity crafting. Anyone can observe what you do today. Your current habits are public record, essentially.
Sure.
But your aspirational hobbies are a confession of your perceived deficits and your hopes for self-improvement. When Ollie admits he wants to learn the guitar, he is admitting he lacks a skill he values.
And Sarah drops what I consider to be the core philosophical maxim of the entire source text to validate that hope. Ollie says he hopes he can learn it soon, and Sarah tells him, you can do it if you practice.
Right.
And slightly earlier, she gives him the ultimate proverb. Practice makes perfect.
This raises an important question about the nature of the text itself, don't you think?
Like what?
Why does the author of this English lesson choose to end the dialogue specifically on the topic of unlearned skills and the necessity of practice?
Oh, because it's a meta-commentary on the listener's exact situation.
Precisely. The overarching focus of this text is continuous learning. The narrator of the source text literally ends the entire lesson by coming back on the microphone and instructing the audience. They say, keep practicing every day, and don't forget, learning English can be fun and easy.
The structure is incredibly elegant. Ollie and Sarah discussing their future goals perfectly mirrors the purpose of the source text.
The characters inside the dialogue are pursuing growth through the guitar and photography in the exact same way that the person listening to the LearnCast is pursuing growth by learning English.
The architecture of the text perfectly mirrors the experience of the reader. Like, the reader is practicing English. Ollie and Sarah are practicing for their future selves. It's a closed, brilliant loop.
It really is. It teaches the language by demonstrating the exact psychological tools you need to master that language. Consistency, non-judgment, and continuous practice.
It proves that the medium truly is the message here. The curriculum doesn't just teach the words for social interaction. It models the emotional intelligence required to make those words actually meaningful. So what does this all mean? We started by looking at a blueprint, a basic, simple conversation between two people, Ollie and Sarah, designed to teach vocabulary about leisure time.
Right.
But we found a highly structured roadmap for the psychology of human connection. We watched them map out the predictable geography of their lives, the park, the weekends, the quiet moments before sleep, to establish behavioral safety.
We saw them navigate the mirroring moments of comedy movies and calm music.
Yeah, while using gentle pivots to gracefully handle their friction over cooking and phone games. And finally, we saw them open the doors to their hobby waiting rooms, sharing the vulnerabilities of their aspirational goals.
And the text gives us the ultimate takeaway right at the very end. Before they say goodbye, Sarah tells Ollie why this entire exchange mattered. She says, "We learn more about each other."
Wow.
The hobbies themselves, the football, the rice and simple pasta, the light exercise, the pop music, they are ultimately irrelevant.
They're just the vehicles.
Exactly. The destination is always understanding the internal landscape of the other person.
And it leaves me with a thought that I really want you to mull over today. We've seen how Ollie and Sarah construct this beautiful, respectful dynamic moving from their present habits to their future goals. It forces us to examine the timeline of our own identities.
It really does.
If discussing your current routines tells people who you are today, does sharing the hobbies you want to learn actually reveal far more about the person you hope to become tomorrow?
That's a great point.
Because anyone can see the house as it stands today, but only you hold the blueprints for the addition you want to build. The next time you're laying down the lines of your own conversational blueprint with a stranger, ask yourself, which version of yourself are you brave enough to share?